Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, there's nothing much to talk about, so here are the top stories. I know they're not impressive, but here are the top stories from this week from the world of F1. First, we have Oliver Bearman on the brink of getting a race ban. He currently sits at the top of the penalty points table in the last 12 months with 10 penalty points. Only two types, red flags and causing a collision, which is, not as impressive because Max Verstappen out there is playing bingo. He's out there collecting all kinds of penalties. This is what we are talking about when we talk about excellence. Anyway, Ayao Komatsu, Haas boss, also pointed out that this is the problem with the young rookie. He is very good at everything. He is one of my favorite rookies personally. But the problem is the consistency. He gets a little bit of penalties here and there. He's like in the Max Verstappen situation back after the Spanish Grand Prix. Because after the end of Spanish Grand Prix, Verstappen had 10 penalty points on his super license. Fortunately, he was taken out in the next race by Kimi Antonelli, so it kind of like helped him. So hopefully Oliver Bearman will be taken out of his misery by someone else in the 2025 Azerbaijan Grand Prix, which is going to happen next week. We move on to the next story. Exciting news for all of you guys concerned about the future of the sport. FIA for members, Mohammed bin Sulayem's re-election campaign has been launched, and I was going through their manifesto from 2026 to 2029, and there are three key areas of focus because we need to talk about this because obviously Mohammed bin Sulayem is gonna win. The other guy, I even forgot what the fuck his name was. So here are the three things that bin Sulayem is going to focus on from 26 to 29. The first thing is there will be more motorsport stuff. They will be expanding into new regions and new countries. There will be more events, which is definitely good, of getting more people involved in this beautiful thing that drives all of us forward. Not drives all of us forward, but gives us reason to wake up every single morning. The second thing is the mobility one, in which a lot of the rules and regulations and the business aspect around mobility basically is going to get improved. And this is very exciting for all of the large corporations across the world because this is where they're going to be making the profits. We will, like the common people, will get fuck all as usual because when the fuels become more efficient, what happens is the oil companies and the corporations increase the value of increase the cost of the fuel. So basically they get more profit and we end up paying the same price. That's just one of the many examples in which this mobility type of evolutions or improvements or upgrades or developments do fuck all for the common Joe. But really exciting times for Mohammed bin Sulayem and his sponsors. And the third one is a bit of like a corporate jargon, PR shite, in which they will do more about sustainability and diversity and inclusion and more transparency and stuff like that. So that's the three key areas for Mohammed bin Sulayem of focus, and he's going to achieve them all by pursuing financial prudence from 26 to 29, which means he will be fining the drivers and the team members and probably even audience members who attend live events to rack up the reserves of the FIA, because that's the only thing which is going to drive all of the three initiatives outlined in the manifesto. We move on to the next story, featuring Max Verstappen, who has shared some words of approval for Laurent Mekies. So Laurent Mekies, with his technical background, is helping the team unlock more performance from the RB21. Recently, they have trimmed the rear wing a bit too much, as you can see in the picture. I don't know if my view is blocking, but Tsunoda has a fatter rear wing compared to Max Verstappen in Monza, and that definitely unlocked a bit more speed and performance for Max Verstappen, and the car seems to be more stable thanks to the informed technical inputs of Laurent Mekies, who seems to be focused on helping the team go forward, as opposed to the man he replaced, Christian Horner, who was primarily focused in getting late and bitching about other teams. We move on. Another Max Verstappen news. So Max Verstappen is now getting appraisal and respect from Ford CEO Jim Farley. Now, a lot of the people will go ahead and say that, wow, amazing, Verstappen is getting more and more involved in the Red Bull Ford project and he's going to stay in Formula One for foreseeable future. But that's not the truth. He's getting more involved in the Ford project because Ford is racing in multiple other categories. And this is a fantastic opportunity for him to understand the technical aspect of how Ford works and as a company what their culture is, so that eventually when he makes the jump to other categories, and let's be honest, he's gonna fucking do it. The way the sport is going, the way drivers are not allowed to swear and are getting fined left, right, and center, the way Mohammed bin Salem is about to continue the financial prudence of FIA, it's very likely it's going to happen that the best driver this sport has ever produced, the man who has broken records in Monza in a tractor, fastest qualifying lap, fastest race ever, shortest race in F1's history, is going to move to a different category. And this is why he is getting too much involved and getting too comfy with Ford. He also made a video with Chris Harris driving that Ford car. Things are looking very exciting, like if you're a Max Verstappen fan, obviously, but in terms of Formula One, I think he is opening his options up. But we move on. The final story of the week comes from McLaren. Team principal Andrea Stella has highlighted that the principles of papaya, by virtue of which Oscar Piastri was fucked because of his team's mistake. And instead of having a 3-point lead, he's now received a 3-point deficit because of team orders in McLaren, a situation that McLaren themselves has created, but Oscar Piastri paid the price. Andrea Stella explains that this is completely fair and that's how they will go racing. You can read more about it in Andrea Stella's book, which he has co-authored with Zach Brown, titled I Love Lando Norris. That's all in this week's news. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.